basically oversized books that are supposed to go on coffee tables because they won't fit on a shelf. And I have this candle here that I thought I would just light and kind of set like mood lighting. There's also not a whole lot of lighting in this room, so I was like, honestly, anything that has light would help. As I continue through this video, I will probably transition from whispering to soft speaking. I might also go back to whispering. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any requests or like to see a certain book in a little bit more detail, just let me know. I will try to get through a lot of the pages, but there are a lot of books, so let's go ahead and get right to it. Stepping back, there is the candle that we were at. It's sitting at the corner, and we are going to be moving over here to this absolutely massive book. It is called Cosmos, a Field Guide. This book is absolutely the largest book I own as far as like length and width goes, and the reason we are all the way over here is because I barely miss it. You can see it rustling the flame. This is an absolutely ginormous book. But it is one of my favorites because it is not only about space, but it is in very vivid color. I tried having the setup from my Magic the Gathering videos, but it wasn't tall enough. These books are just so ginormous that I would probably need to mount the camera to my ceiling to get it to show everything. I think these pages are one of my only qualms about this book, because for like, I guess each chapter or like section you want to call it, they have these giant black pages with nothing else. Like, I wish they would have put like more pictures that they have in the rest of the book, but you'll see what I mean. So this is the inner worlds. You have the solar system and the sun, all the planets orbiting it. It's so big it doesn't even fit on one page. I'm gonna read the first section of it. I'll probably move into more of a soft speaking now. So the solar system can be split quite neatly into 3 main regions. The innermost zone has the sun itself at the center, orbited by the relatively small terrestrial or rocky planets. Next comes the realm of the giant planets, huge balls of gas, each with their own miniature solar system of moons. Beyond these lie the outer limits, vast empty wastelands of space, scattered with icy worlds both large and small. that's so cool. I find the solar system and anything space related just so interesting. So, little fun factoid here. The sun contains 99.86% of the solar system's mass, and the gas giants account for over 90% of the remainder. The tiny fraction left has been spun into 4 very different planets. It is so cool. I absolutely love this. I'm trying to flip the pages very slowly because they are so big that no matter how slow I go, it nearly takes out the candle, even with the smallest movements. Here we have Earth. I didn't even realize these were down here. That's really cool. Distance from Earth. Of course, Earth is 0 light minutes from Earth. The diameter in kilometers. The mass measured in Earths. So Earth is the equivalent of 1 Earth. The day length is 24 hours. The year length is 365.25 days. Orbit inclination, 0 degrees. Average tilt, 23.45. Mean surface temperature, 15 degrees in Celsius. Mean surface gravity, 1 Earth. I don't know how accurate this book is now. I'll have to check and see when the publishing date is. But I feel like some of these are could be off, so don't come after me. I'll go ahead and read this first chunk while I run my hands along the page. Our home planet is a wondrous place. Born a run-of-the-mill rocky sphere orbiting a fairly average star, a series of lucky breaks have conspired to turn Earth into a hospitable, ever-changing world, with a huge variety of landscapes and habitats, like these. Oh, this shows, so this is 1, this is picture 1, this is picture 2, picture 3, and picture 4. It's so gorgeous. Oh, I love these pages. I absolutely love these pages. Look how big it is. It has so much detail. All of the grooves and crevices, mountain ranges. It's so big I can't even trace it all in one because there's so much to trace. Oh, this page is about tectonics. Again, I'll read the first paragraph here. Earth is different from its planetary neighbors in many ways, but one of the most important is geology. Ours is the only terrestrial world with a fully developed system of plate tectonics, the driving force that keeps Earth's continents in perpetual motion and continually regenerates the planet's crust. That's so cool. Here's another image down here. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out for a second. I'm gonna rearrange where I'm sitting because I'm just gonna move the candle. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. This is another, let me get a higher view. This is another really big page. The only words being the explanation. So these are the Himalayas. These are the Himalayan mountains. I realized how long I was taking on that just from that one page. So I'm gonna try to speed things up and just kind of flip quickly through some of these, stopping occasionally to read. Ooh, what is this? What is this? I'm already getting distracted. Bunch of dots, bunch of dots. This is the satellite image of Kansas. The pixelated dots are a pattern imposed on the landscape by humans. Each tiny circle is a field of crops tended with artificial irrigation. That is so cool. The colors indicate the presence of water. Red dots like this one and these. Red dots indicate fields where crops are still growing, while the white ones have already been harvested. There's a lot that have been harvested. But this corner has a lot of red, and so does this corner. But the majority of the page is white. Alright. The moon. Oh, this is cute. I like the first little paragraph here, so I'll go ahead and read it for you guys. Go ahead and read it. The moon is our planet's satellite and constant companion. I love that. It's our constant companion, guys. It's our constant companion in space, an alien world large enough and close enough to Earth to have a major influence on our planet throughout its history and from day to day. I always thought the moon was really interesting. Sorry if that was a weird cut. My dog started barking. Here's another one with it's the closest to Earth. Furthest from Earth. Its diameter, its mass, in Earth measurement. Orbital period. Mean surface temperature -20 degrees Celsius. And mean surface gravity 0.17 Earths. Oh, would you look at that? That is just gorgeous. It's so big, I have to lean to trace it. Sorry, I don't like that squeaking noise. Sorry if you guys could hear it. Oh, look at that, little guys. Little guys on the moon. And the footprint. Oh, would you look at that? Venus. Go ahead and read this little section here while we look at this. Venus, the second planet from the sun, is a brilliant sight in Earth's night skies. We sometimes know it as the morning or evening star, and is often outshone only by the moon. But the ancient astronomers who named this planet after the goddess of beauty were sadly misled. Venus's beauty is truly only skin deep. The planet is veiled in a thick, all-enveloping atmosphere that hides its true face forever from our view. This dense layer of yellow-white cloud reflects 70% of the sunlight shining on it, making Venus one of the most reflective objects in the solar system and explaining its jewel-like brilliance. Oh, I love how they describe things in this book. It's why it's one of my favorite. Oh, would you look at that? Gorgeous landscape. Looks like this is going to turn out to be a very long video. Mercury, Mercury. Tiny, fast-moving Mercury. That does seem true. A tiny ball of rock. Man, they are not talking very kindly about Mercury as they were about Venus. Ah, the sun. The sun, I'm sure they have brilliant things to say about our sun. Look at that, the sun flares. Looks like a little person in lava. Look at that, like a little head. Arms reaching up, like a little lava person. The sun is our local star, the only one we can study in detail. It's the source of all of the heat and all of the life that needs to survive on the light that life needs to survive on the surface of our planet. And also a spectacular object in its own right. A 1.4 million kilometer ball of exploding gas, blasting out radiation at all wavelengths, its gravity affecting a sphere of space with a radius of up to a light year. Would you look at that? So gorgeous. So pretty. Oh my gosh. When I see this, you know, if you were to have me do an ink blot test when I was a kid versus now, it would be crazy different because I saw this, like, not this one exactly, but the first time I saw like sun flares up close, I was like, oh my gosh, they look like sunflowers. And maybe that's where they get the name. But now as an adult, who's addicted to video games, when I look at this, all I see is the Elden Ring. Like the frenzied flame. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh really loud. But yeah, I just see like the frenzied flame ending. And like the frenzied flame boss in the DLC. So, but this one really looks like a sunflower. This looks like bunches of sunflowers, but just blown up. It looks like frenzied flame. And this one's really pretty too. Looks like an abstract painting. I have a feeling I'm gonna be saying that about a lot of these. Ah, Mars. 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 These pictures make it look kind of boring. Of all the planets in the solar system, Mars is the one that most resembles Earth. The differences are still striking, but here we can at least envision how rivers once flowed. Waves lapped at the shores of an ancient ocean, and life might perhaps have struggled into existence. I crater, it's an elevation. Valleys. Martian water. Look at that, Martian water. Yeah, these pictures make Mars look kind of boring. It just kind of looks like Utah. Asteroids. Oh, they have names. Sorry, ignore all that. That's my sewing stuff. Wow, outer worlds, outer worlds. 4 giant planets orbit in the outer solar system. Cloudy, storm-racked worlds, many times the size of Earth. They are accompanied on their travels by large families of moons and enormous swarms of smaller moonlets. Moonlets. I think that's a funny little word, moonlets. Like a tiny moon, tiny moon. Ah, Jupiter. I think my brother went here once. Jupiter with its big red eye. Jupiter is the monster planet of our solar system, aptly named after the king of the gods in Roman mythology. In terms of volume and mass, it is larger than all the other planets put together, a colorful giant lurking just beyond the asteroid belt, at the doorway to the outer solar systems. Makes it sound so cool. Here's more pages with Jupiter pictures on it, namely the storms of Jupiter. Because it's one big storm, that planet. Oh, gorgeous. I know earlier I complained about the black pages, but I really like how they used this one because it's showing like the transition of Jupiter from day to night. And then the moons of Jupiter. Yeah, it's also showing the moon. Well, one of the moons of Jupiter. There are so many of them. This one's really pretty. Wrecked by the gravitational tides of its sister moon and its parent. Is that Lo? Yeah, Lo is convulsed by endless volcanic activity. Wow. Its name is Lo, L-O. Europa. This one I know the name of. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video, I love these books, but also I've been watching a lot of the ASMR channel Let's Find Out, and he does a lot of like sorry if you can hear that bass, someone is driving by with like a crazy loud bass. But Let's Find Out does such good videos about like space facts, and I figured why not start with my Cosmos book and kind of do something similar, you know? Although I don't know how accurate this book is. Let's take a look here. The 6th planet from the sun, Saturn, is often thought of as a smaller and paler version of Jupiter. It is most famous for the spectacular ring system that orbits the planet itself. Although all the giant outer planets have rings, Saturn's are by far the brightest and most extensive. Look at those rings. Oh wow, the rings. It is extensive. It was not lying. See, another one like that Jupiter page. Has the moon, and I believe these are rings. Oh, no, I guess this is Saturn's northern hemisphere. It's what it says in the little corner. Oh, this is a pretty page. With all the little cracks and grooves and craters. I can't wait to get like an official setup for like a tripod. It would make this so much easier. A lot of pictures of Saturn and its moons in this book. Titan. Hyperion. Phoebe. Some of these names. Uranus. Don't laugh, guys. This is a very serious planet. Oh, look at that. It's showing its polarity. That's cool. The lines. I'll try to blindly trace this while I read the first paragraph that's down there. The first planet to be discovered with a telescope, found accidentally by German-born British astronomer William Herschel. I hope that's how you say it. In 1781, Uranus lurks in the outer solar system, twice as distant as Saturn and half its size. What little we knew about the planet until Voyager's 2 flyby of 1986 came from the discovery of its moons and rings. I kind of lost space. I lost view of it. So it's showing that instead of north and south, it's south and north. So its polarities, the opposite of Earth's, I believe. It's bizarre tilted, yeah. Tilted away from both upright. Axis rotation does not fit the norm of the solar system. It's not like other planets. Ooh, sorry, that was probably really loud. Just the pop of the page, I gotta be more careful. I underestimate the size of this. Neptune. Man, that kind of sucks. Uranus only had like 2 pages, while Saturn had like 1 million. So here's Neptune. The moons of Neptune. Neptune also only has 2 pages. But now we're getting into the far reaches. Beyond Neptune lies a vast region of almost empty space. Oh, sorry if you heard that. It is here that the solar wind falters, but the sun's gravity still holds sway, retaining swarms of small icy worlds in long, slow orbits. Look at that. It's like a big ball around the sun. Ah, Pluto. It calls Pluto an object. Its early discovery and recognition as the 9th planet. So I guess this book, I think recently Pluto was changed from a planet, so I guess that's not too bizarre. Oh, look how pretty, the comets. I love comets, they're really cool. Oh my goodness. I had a soda before filming, and now it's betraying me. All the little stars. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of these pages because they're just, it says Interstellar and that's it. But look how pretty this next page is. Between the stars. The voids between the stars are sprinkled with a mix of gas molecules and dust particles that form the skeleton of our galaxy and give birth to new generations of stars. Oh, would you look at that? Oh my gosh, I wish I could prop my phone right here. Oh, it's so pretty. So, this one is the Eagle Nebula and the Rosette Nebula, probably because it looks like a rosette. Oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. See, this is when we get into the really cool stuff. So, this is the Horsehead Nebula, because it looks like there's a little horse head right there. And then this one, it kind of looks like an owl head with its beak and its eyes, although it has 2 eyes on this side. This is the Cone Nebula. My dog just stretched and is being so... Oh, there he goes, sighing like he pays rent again. Wow. These are just gorgeous. This looks like a unicorn. I wonder if that's what it's called. Oh, this one's the Swan Nebula. See, no, I'd call this a unicorn because it looks like there's the ear, the horn. It looks like it's looking down with its mane. So we have the Keyhole Nebula, the Lagoon Nebula, the Swan Nebula. Oh wait. So the Keyhole Nebula, they have this set up weird. The Lagoon Nebula. This is the Swan Nebula. Oh, 3 and 5 is the Swan Nebula. Trifid. Okay, so now I have the page figured out. They have them kind of numbered here. So 3 and 5 are actually the Swan Nebula. This is the Trifid Nebula, the Keyhole Nebula, and the Lagoon Nebula. With all the really pretty... So gorgeous. Now we move on to Star Life. This cluster of stars. For centuries, people wondered why the stars shone. Now we know their nuclear furnaces are the alchemists of the universe, creating all of the heavy elements around us. Ultimately, we are all made from star stuff. There's stars everywhere. Oh, here's a list of the brightest and nearest stars. That's cool. Look at this big empty space. It's about star birth. That sounds weird to say. More nebulas. More nebulas. My favorite. My favorite. So 1 and 3, which is, let me get this all figured out this time. Okay, so this big one along the bottom and this one are the pillars of creation, probably because they're giant pillars. And this one is the mountain of creation. It's like, looks like mountain range, I guess. Oh, look at that. Look at that, the Orion Nebula. It is gorgeous. Looks like we're close to halfway. So we have some multiple stars. Open clusters. I'm gonna start skipping pages. So I'm grabbing just a couple pages here. Again, if you guys want, I can film videos on specific books. So I could do it more in depth, like once I get a tripod. I can do like an in-depth where I prop up the tripod and just like read more of these books and like do one book at a time. Because I have 8 other books to get through today. I have 8 other books. So let's kind of get it moving, right? Oh, look at that. The Helix Nebula. Was its like color, so it goes from like blue to this kind of like dusty and then yellow and reddish brown with stars scattered. Oh, supergiants. Supergiants. So let's get up close here. Look at the pretty with the speckling. Massive stars burn brightly but briefly, their brilliance lasting just a few million years. Look at all those little stars. It's so pretty. Crab Nebula. So this one's the Crab Nebula, and this one's the Crab Pulsar. Pulsar sounds cooler. And the Crab Nebula is just gorgeous. Look, it kind of looks, if we get up close here, I brought my pen to do some like up close tracing. smaller books. But this book is just so big that it doesn't really make sense. Look at all of them. Look how bright. With these, it's kind of hard to like trace one thing, because if I trace this big shape, kind of makes sense, but then there's all of these little shapes in it. My dog is so dramatic. I hope he's not too distracting. Oh, would you look at that? Pinwheel galaxy. So we're starting to get into the spiral galaxies. Spiral, spiral, spiral. With a mix of young and old stars and plentiful star-forming material, spirals are the most dynamic of large galaxies. I need to try to speak more like this because I've been told that it's calming, but I tend to only speak like this when I am reading something off or I have to really think about it, so that I can make it sound cohesive. Cigar galaxy. This is an oh my goodness, if I could speak. An irregular galaxy. We're starting to get to the end. I don't know if you can tell, but the book is starting to lean that way. So before it falls and makes a loud noise, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next book. So next up we have my Dragonology book from when I was a kid. I have 3 left over from my childhood. I have these little gems here. I don't know what to call them other than the Ology series. But I have Dragonology, this one, Wizardology, and Egyptology, which I'll be showing you next. But I figured I would kind of trace the cover first. What's a good angle? It's kind of hard to see because it's made of this like shiny material. Big old dragon. Its spines come all the way down. Oh, and there's a little leg. Little's probably not the best word. There's another big leg. Here's another dragon. Dragonology. The series have these like little to whom it may concern and like starter ones. So I used to be obsessed with these as a kid. I am not gonna lie. I was kind of a dweeb. But I mean, look at them. You can't really hate on these books for kids because it's like everything folds out. There's always something to interact with. I used to believe. So when I saw these books, I was like, if it ends with ology, it's true. So I used to think these were real. I thought dragons were real, and I was like, oh yeah. These dragons are totally from Greenland, and like these are in the Arctic, and like it was a whole thing. But they also have these like, I don't know if you can hear it. They're textured. It has this specimen. Was that a sling membrane? Frost dragon, juvenile, 24 years. I can always tell when the page is gonna have something good because they're like double bonded to fit the stuff in it. And here's another textured one. Shed skin from an Asian lung, 250 years. 24 to 250 is a very big difference. He's holding an egg. It was once thought to be a huge pearl. This one I'm not gonna scratch on too hard. I'm so sorry if you can hear my neighbors coughing. We have very thin walls in our apartment. But I'm not gonna scratch too hard. This is another membrane from a marsupial dragon, 45 years. It's like if you've ever felt recycled paper, that's what that feels like. So I don't want to like tear it up. I love these. I love these so much. So it flips over. You can see the skin, muscle, and bone of the dragons. It has a little muscle structure and figures and the skeletal structure. It's so cool. It's so cool. It has the dragon's sight. How they breathe fire. Spark pouch. That's so cool. These ones I'm gonna go through pretty fast just because they're kind of for kids. There's that script that pulls out. I used to use this all the time to write myself little secret notes. But I don't know why, because I'm like, I would keep the notes in here so I could translate them. So they weren't very secret, because I didn't really understand without the key. So I always had the key with them. A Dragonologist personal record book. Let me see here. Ah, yeah, it has the dates of the interactions, the one that got away. Fold that back up before I turn the page. Riddles and puzzles. Beginner's Guide to Dragons and Riddles. A love of riddles. That's so cute. Oh, this one's cool. I always love this one. It's just a glitter pouch. Dragon Dust collected in 1869. Whoa, dyslexic moment. A Dragonological Laboratory. See, when I was a kid, I was reading this stuff and I was like, oh heck yeah. That's totally believable. Let me see if I can open this. But I love they have pouches with little notes inside of them. What does that say? Let's tilt it. Let's tilt it. Beware, the spell can turn the dragon against you. That's what that says. These are like all over the internet now, but I remember as a kid, I was like, I took this and I went back to the translator and I translated everything. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like a secret agent. Has really pretty art in it though. And here we are at the back page. It has this giant gem eye on it. And a lot of stuff here is like elevated, which I always think is really cool. So that is the Dragonology book. I will go ahead and grab the Egyptology next. So this is the Egyptology book. I wasn't into this one as much as I was into the Dragonology and Wizardology, because this I was like, oh, this is just like stuff that can be in my like history textbook for school. But the other stuff I was like, oh yeah, I'm in on this. I'm in on the secret. Magic's real, you know? Used to love that as a kid. So we'll go ahead and jump straight into this one. So again, this one has a little note to the reader. It's like the theme of these books. It has like this comes out and it unfolds, but I like triple knotted it when I was younger. And just like the other one, these fold out. Let me see if I can do it one-handed. There we go. I just realized this little ad was in the Dragonology book as well. Didn't even realize. But these ones fold down and up respectively. See, I was looking at this as a kid and I was like, oh, this is just like the textbooks. Not the textbooks, but like the school books. Like, it just has information on the boring stuff and nothing fun ever happens in these. Yeah. You know, as an adult, I definitely can respect it and think it's cool, but it was a sample of mummy cloth. I think. Yeah, shoot. I was really making sure these were secure when I was a kid. But there's a piece of like really old, not old, but a piece of linen that was like distressed. Understanding hieroglyphs. Just like the last one, I also used to try to do this like as like a little secret language, but like my name has so many like complicated, like I had to count how many points, and like I didn't want to draw that many points, and I was like, does my name have a KH in it? It was like a whole thing. So I just decided to not use that one as much. Oh yeah, this one folds out really cool. I always really liked when they did like really cool pop-ups. Like, I don't want to call them pop-ups because it just makes it seem more childish, but that's what they are. Oh yeah. This was like a whole game. This has like, yeah, I never even opened it. That still has the plastic around the pieces to play the game. Because because I was like, I read the rules and I was like, I'm not doing that. Damn, she's thick as hell. Sorry. I just didn't realize. I was like, man, they really... Sorry, that was crude of me. But like, come on. It's a children's book, guys. And then folds out this way, I believe. It's so hard to grab these without like folding the paper. Yeah, there we go. The third coffin. Oh, there's more. Oh, the fourth mummy wrapping. Oh my gosh, it just keeps going. There's the mummy. It's like those Russian nesting dolls. Those are some big feet. Noel. That's cute. Makes it look like you're part of their like friend group. Does this do anything? Some of these I can never tell. There we go. Yep. It comes up. 150 feet from the entrance. The Book of the Dead. And then the last page with another note to the reader. And then this gem eye. Ooh, I like that sound. Alright. So that was the Egyptology book. Let's go ahead and grab the Wizardology book. This was another one of my favorites as a kid. It is Wizardology. I don't know if you can hear, but it's kind of like raised in texture. Has this like really cool like design with like a lion with like two bodies and like this big like great owl or something. I really like the cover of this one. It's very whimsical. The water. The Book of the Secrets of Merlin. Sounds so fancy. Alright, let's jump in. Alright. Again, just like the last two, has a note to the reader. I'm not gonna fully take that out because I'm clumsy with one hand. I mean, I'm clumsy with both hands, but one just makes it worse. Oh, come on. There we go. Goodness, I bent that corner back. Don't let me do anything. I always thought this guy was really cool. I think he's supposed to be Merlin. I think. I don't know. But I thought with all this cool stuff around him, I mean, this must be the guy. Oh, another map. Witches and Wizards. With various of the names of the countries in which they are most plentifully found. Oh, I loved this page. This is probably my favorite page out of all of these books because there's so many little details to it. So if we go, I don't even know where to start. We'll start from this side. This is a mini Dragonology book with working little papers. I actually don't know if these might be in order. I'm not sure. I'm sure you guys could look back at the page and know, or look back at the paper. And then next we go to the desk, and it has this little sealed stamp note that folds out with like man-made wing details. I don't even know if that's actual words on there or if it's just like wizard gibberish. Who knows? And then this part's really cool, so I'll save that for last. And we have this scroll that comes out with a little dinosaur head on it. Isn't that so cool? And then this, you see Merlin and the night sky, and I think no, not the window. So just the night sky and Merlin. It goes to the young version, I think that might be a young version of Merlin in the sun. Isn't that so nice? I used to think this looked a lot cooler, so I always keep it facing this way. So cool. One of my favorites. Spells, how to cast them. Principles of magic. Presto. Open sesame. Mumbo jumbo. Very important spells if you ask me. They're very important to know and to use every day. Mumbo jumbo and open sesame. He's got like a dolly mustache going on with a big ruffled collar. He's casting magic. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be Merlin. There goes my dog sighing again. So cool. Animal magic. Guide to working with familiars. Questions. Should I mix anatomy with... Wait, hang on. I'm reading this from a weird angle and through the phone. Oh, antimony. With quicksilver to produce gold. Is Sunday a good day to douse for lost treasure? Does this rope become me? Will it rain tomorrow? That's so funny. Don't bother me with silly questions like that. That's so funny. A wizard's loyal familiar. A whole new world. The snake. Oh, little friend there. A poo. I know it's not Aladdin, but like magic phoenix feather. Ooh, fancy. Keep this feather covered when not in use, otherwise this book may develop a tendency to fly away. Hang on, there we go. I'm honestly surprised this thing is still intact, because I was like, ooh, this can make me fly. Keep that nice and shut. We wouldn't want our book to fly away. Oh no, he turned himself into a mule or a donkey. I don't know the difference. As this apprentice's years grew longer, so his stay with me grew shorter. Yeah, looks like he's bad at what he does. The Wizard's Apothecary, Eye of Newt, Midsummer's Day, Howler's Wing, Adler's Fork, Tongue of Dog, Toe of Frog. Isn't that so nice? This next one is the story of... I don't even know what that is. Taliesin? Tale of Magical Transformations. Interesting. Unicorn. Let's fold this out. Oh, yes. This is what got me into, like, planets. I was like, ooh, the planets can make you cast types of spells. Rings of Power. Little, side note there, look at the crystal ball. Crystal gazing, divination. I think this still has... Yeah, it does. Oh my goodness. The little mini tarot cards still in the pack. I did not want to open them because my grandma said tarot's for the devil and I was scared. That's so funny. I don't know if you can tell, but some of these books I haven't opened in a minute. Super cool. Metal tongs. Oh, the story of Merlin. Is that Merlin? Is that Merlin? Alright. And that brings us to the end with our little spell book. I used to walk around with this thing and then pull out my little mini spell book and look inside. I used to look at it all the time. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. Here's the book. The answer to any magical question can be found within my pages. Think of the question. Hoot 3 times like an owl as you turn anti-clockwise to call Harpier. Open a page at random, and there's your answer. So I guess not a spell book, but I treated it like a spell book. And then the gem. Alright. Now that we are done with those, we will move into the more coffee table-like books, if that makes sense. The next one is Incredible Cross Sections. So this is Incredible Cross Sections. I didn't have it on the front cover just because the dust cover of this is kind of torn up. But the name kind of explains the entire premise of the book. So this is the contents. It has all kinds of stuff in it that I think is super cool. I especially like the cathedral and the ocean liner. But this is a cross section of a castle. It shows all kind of stuff. Clever defense, Steps on the staircase always rose clockwise. This gave the defending soldier an advantage as he moved up or down. Holding his sword in his right hand, he could swing it freely, but the center post blocked the attacker's sword hand. Well, every castle needs lots of fresh water, so there was a deep well full of fresh water going all the way up there in a moat. You need a moat to guard a castle. To guard the castle, salt meat, solid foundations. Splash, 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 splash. Oh my gosh. YouTube, don't demonetize me. The toilets in castles were called guard robes. They were very primitive. I can tell, my goodness. Oh, they're everywhere. Let's get out of this page. This one's really cool. I hope there's not anything too crazy on this. But yeah, one thing that I really like about this book is like, I feel like it's kind of like a Where's Waldo situation, because I can like look at the little guys and see what each of them are doing. Like this guy, what's he doing? What is that? What's he holding? Well, let's follow the line. At the helm, he's the helmsman. The helmsman steered the ship using a whipstaff, a long pole attached to a tiller. The tiller itself turned the rudder, so let's follow that down. That turned the rudder. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. This, I love this one. This is one of the reasons why this is my favorite page. You know a girl loves pages that fold out. It is quite literally covering my whole desk. But let's see, here in the boiler room, we have the boilers. 4 steam turbines powered the liner through the waves. Each one generated 50,000, oops, sorry, I just kind of knocked you over. 50,000 horsepower, as much as 400 family cars. Send me a cable. Jogger's delight. Galleys, the galleys. Prepare meals for 3,000 people at a time. They covered an area of 1 acre and catered to every type of diet. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Ocean liner, this is so cool. I like how they measured it in Statue of Liberty. That's kind of funny. Alright, let's see here. Sorry if you just heard my stomach grumble. Goodness. I just can't seem to stay quiet for you guys today. This is cool. A coal mine. It's kind of sideways though. I feel like quite a few of these are kind of in like odd positions for not having like a tripod. Because I can't just orient it how I want. Another sideways one. This one's really cool. They have the oil rig. I really like looking at the oil rig. Because here's the water. And it shows all of the workings underneath the water. I had no clue that it took so many support beams to keep those things stable. The cathedral. I love this one. Has the team. It kind of describes like their positions. Throngs of people. Enormous numbers of tourists visit Europe's great cathedrals to wonder at the beautiful craftsmanship. Some may even pause and pray. In the past, cathedrals were just as crowded, but with pilgrims, people who traveled to cathedrals to pray and worship. Look at that, they split the window in half. And look at all those little people. there's a crypt. There's a crypt. Underneath much of the cathedral is a crypt, a kind of cellar. Often the crypt is a burial place. Burial place for officials of the church and other important people. That is so cool. It shows where the bells are. The bells are up here. Bells were installed in the tower of the cathedral to call people to worship. There's right here. The biggest often weighed more than a ton. A group of bells with different notes is called a peal. They can be rung in thousands of different combinations. That is so cool. But yeah, I think the cathedral's super cool. Although I'm not religious, I would love to visit cathedrals. On the inside of an airplane. Oh my gosh. What is with this book's obsession with people pooping? Hang on, let me see if there's... Okay, everything's covered. My goodness. Stratojohns. Most 747s have 12 to 14 toilets. Air from the toilets is vented straight out of the aircraft so the smell does not bother other passengers. Wow, how thoughtful of them. Oh, it has crew beds. That's cool. I didn't know that. I guess this is for the... Oh yeah, it's a jumbo jet, not a normal jet. That is so cool. I've never been inside a jumbo jet. A car factory. I don't know if this is necessarily sections of it, more than it is just a factory line. Oh, a helicopter. This is cool. What is that? Oxygen bottles. Showing the oxygen bottles there. Oh, and the fuel's right under here. Fuel's right under there. Isn't that neat? That's where I saw a video of someone like getting lifted in one of these and they just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. Oh, a steam train. This one's cool. Oh wait, Opera House. Oh, the steam train is backwards. Didn't realize that was folded the wrong way. Oopsies. The Opera House is really cool though. It has like different backgrounds that can drop down. You can see some up here. And they drop down for different scenes. All the lights and sound design and royal rooms. That is just so neat. Now we have the steam train. My goodness, I can't believe it was folded like that. In order to try to like save this page a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and skip looking at that for now. This is a subway station. This is not what I imagined a subway station to look like. Just saying. I expected a lot more trash. Tiled floor surfaces. The emergency stairs. Escalators. Empire State Building. Oh my goodness. This one's crazy looking. So if we get really close, you can see, look how little those people are. Each of these are like rooms, which I guess makes sense because it's the Empire State Building is huge. And the inside of a space shuttle. It's definitely cool. It's all little. is it for this book. The next one is going to be the Atlas. This is the Reader's Digest Atlas of the World. But I wanted to tap on the cover of this one because it's like pleather. So it kind of makes that sticky sound that I really like when you lift your hands off. And it makes a nice clicky, clicky, clicky tapping sound. Let's go ahead and jump in. So this one I'm really gonna barrel through just because out of all of my like coffee table books I have, this is the one that has like the least amount of like interesting like stuff that I find interesting, because it has this like first section of like planets and stuff, which I think is always really cool. I always love space. You know me, space girly. And I really like geography, geology, and like landscape stuff. But maps, you know, I could live without them, but I do live with them. Look at that. That's cool. Little diagram here. But I figured I own it. It's technically considered a coffee table book. I might as well show you guys. Emergence of Man. That's what this page is dedicated to. The Enigma of the Rift. Actually, I'll tap and read this one. So we'll do some up close and far away tapping. The Enigma of the Rift. Scientists studying the emergence of man have concentrated on the Rift Valley of East Africa. Its fine sedimentary beds act as natural filing system, preserving the fossil records. It also provides a framework for understanding our own origins. The rift started to form some 20 to 15 million years ago as the continents drifted and an extended strip of East Africa began to tug away from the East Africa plate. That's cool. Leaving a long geological fault enclosing a system of stream-fed lake basins. To the east, huge outflows of volcanic rock created the great mountains of the Kenyan and Ethiopian highlands, which acted as a cloud barrier and deprived the valley of its rainfall. As a result, patchy woodland and savanna replaced humid equatorial forests. In conditions like these, it is not hard to see how communities of our ape-like ancestors might have become isolated from the ape stock of the deep forest. With every climatic dry spell, they would have been forced to adapt to life in the open country. It was a case not so much of our ancestors leaving the trees as of the trees deserting them. That's cool. Alright, let's skip forward a little chunk here. Here's where we get into the maps. Index of the maps, legends to maps. Oh yeah, look at this. Switzerland. This is Switzerland. I don't know where in Switzerland, but it's Switzerland. Oh wait, I see. I believe. this is Switzerland, I think. I'm not much of a map girl, like I said earlier. Oh, here's a big one. We're going chunks at a time now because my phone's getting low on battery. Bay of Bengal. Bengal, maybe? I'm not sure. The Mozambique Channel. Look at that. I'm showing mostly the stuff on this side, just because that's how the book's likes to lay right now. See, now it's more centered, so I'll show all of it. And eventually I'm going to show more of the pages on that side, once the pages start resting that direction. Pacific Ocean. I used to call it the Pacific Ocean when I was a kid, because, you know, you're a kid, you don't know any better. So you can really tell that I don't read this book because the pages are not wanting to lay flat. But it makes a nice sound. Sorry if you can hear my dog panting. My boyfriend just took him outside. The Antarctic. I keep saying the blank as if I'm like an expert. I need to stop doing that. Unless you guys like it, but World Information Table. Oh, we're coming up on the end real fast here. We're in the index. I want to flip all the way to the back and then close it. And then bring it up here and then do a little bit more tapping on it. On the back this time. I'm going to try something. I'm going to see if you guys like it. I've seen a lot of like build-up tapping. I wonder if I start off slow and then get faster and faster. Or do you guys just like it when it's all the same speed? Sorry, I didn't like that squeaky noise. Get some visual triggers in here. Maybe if I go the other way. Anyway, that was the Atlas of the World by Reader's Digest. Let's move on to the next one. This one is probably going to be the hardest one to film because it is such a long book, but this is the Spectacular Galapagos. This one I'm probably going to read some stuff in just because I find it interesting. Sorry if I skip something that you guys thought was interesting that I just kind of glanced over. If you want me to like read anything specific, you guys can request it in the comments below and I'll do my best to try to figure that out. So let's get started. Okay. So this one I had to take off my little reading pedestal. Because it just doesn't work otherwise. Look, they're kissing. Isn't that so cute? But yeah, this book is just absurdly large. But it's so pretty. Look at that, the lava. It's exploding out. It's exploding, exploding. I realized that I was so awestruck by the photos earlier that I didn't do a lot of tongue clicking. I was just making a lot of commentary. So let me know if you guys like tongue clicking more or less. I can always do a mix. Look at these dolphins. I'm deathly afraid of dolphins. I know it sounds stupid, but in like real life scenarios where I have been scuba diving in the water, in open ocean, these things will come barreling at you. Like, they are so fast. And like, I don't care what everyone says about them being like all cute and sweet. I have seen them tear up other animals for fun. They are mean. So I don't like being in the water with them because it's like, imagine a sumo wrestler can swim like 20 miles an hour underwater and hits you head on. That is my worst nightmare ever. It's like dolphins can hit you so fast. Oh, these little cactuses. Oh my gosh. Oh, they look like prickly pears on here. And then these are the turtles from the cover. They're in this like water hole. I didn't even realize. They said that photo is so good, it needs to be in there twice. This little guy here, I think he's a sea lion. Let me see if it says on this other page. Sea bull. That's what it says. Oh, a sea lion, and then this one's a sea bull. Maybe that's just a male sea lion? Let's see. Diving for sea bull. Off the Cousins Island leaves a trail of fine bubbles escaping from its coat. Look at all those fine bubbles escaping from its coat. Look at his little face, isn't that so cute? This one, a frigate bird, I think. Frigate, I don't know. Frigate bird inflates its enormous air pouch to display to a passing female. It's funny. It reminds me whenever I see like birds doing bird displays like this, I think about this one. I think it was originally a Tumblr post of if dinosaurs courted like how birds court, and it was this like T-Rex that had blue on its arms, and it was just dancing around and shaking its little arms at the female. It was so funny. But I think of that whenever I see like a bird display like that. Oh, this is a pretty picture. Let's see if I can blindly trace this while reading the passage underneath. Alright. The waning light of sunset, a male magnificent frigate bird breaks for landing at his nest on Seymour Island, bearing a small nesting twig to offer to his waiting mate. She will build it into the nest platform while he flies off for more. Thieving neighbors would be quick to swoop down and dismantle the nest for their own use, were it left unattended even briefly. That's cool. It's gonna kill me not to know how to pronounce that bird. I'm gonna stick to one pronunciation. Frigate. I'm gonna stick with frigate. Oh, look at those marine iguanas. I love these guys. I watched, I think it was Blue Planet that had like a segment on these guys. It was really cool watching them swim underwater. Here, I'll tap while I read this side. Imagine you were to take flight around the middle of the globe on the space shuttle, or perhaps as tiny as a fern spore riding a jet stream. As you circle the blue planet beneath you, your attention would immediately be drawn to the vastness of the Pacific Ocean. Studying this expanse, you would notice the countless islands peppering with you along the equator. From about mid-ocean to the very shores of Asia, looking east along the equator line towards South America, however, is a very different scene. Thousands of miles of warm, calm seas stretch the unbroken, but for one single group of islands, the Galapagos. A cluster of large, stark volcanoes straddling the line 600 miles offshore from the equator. There's a reason for this. The Galapagos Islands, unlike so many of their sisters around the Pacific, were not spawned along fissures and faults in this mosaic of tectonic plates that form the Earth's crust, nor do they mark the boundaries between these plates. Instead, they are the surface manifestation of deep-rooted geologic hotspot, a convection plume of intense heat rising through the Earth's mantle and building volcanoes relentlessly atop the Nazca Plate. This oceanic plate moves the Earth's mantle and building volcanoes relentlessly atop the Nazca Plate. This oceanic plate moves ever so slowly eastward towards the continental plate that forms South America, plunging beneath it where the two meet. As they age, the hotspot-born volcanoes ride conveyor belt style on the Nazca where the two meet. As they age, that's neat. Over time, the stationary heat plume continues. It builds new volcanoes that slowly drift away, just like a candle scorches a linear hole as a sheet of paper moves around it. Thus, over 1 million years, the story of the Galapagos has been one of birth, death, and rebirth, as volcanoes rise above the hot spot, only to crumble back away into the sea and be replaced by new ones in their disappearing wake. How neat. And that's just the introduction. Isn't that so fun? We have the whole rest of the book. Isn't that so fun? Let's see. Is there anything interesting? Oh, Darwin. I wonder if this is talking about the species of... Yes, the finches. Darwin's meticulous field notes on Galapagos are shown with modern museum collections of some of the 13 closely related species of finches. Isn't that so cool? Look at this boat. Going from finches to boats, I get distracted really easily. Oh, it's a wild dog, it looks like, or like a stray. So neat, so neat, so neat. Oh no. He's stuck in the net. He looks so sad. Poor thing. Look at the branches, the branches. Coastal fringes. Look at the little lizards on there. They're hiding. In plain sight, they blend in so well with the rock. The first chapter is coastal fringes. Oh, look at the little baby lizard. So cute, so cute, so cute. Let us now move on to this side of the page with this distinguished gentleman here. Trace all of his little ridges and bumps. His little neck. And all of his spikes. Look how scaly he is with his little mouth and his eyes. Let's see. Oh look, there's so many of them. This is a really pretty image with the contrast of all of the iguanas and then the little crab. The little crab. When marine iguanas return from their feeding forays in the cool wave wash, their first priority is to rewarm their chilled bodies by sprawling over the sun-baked lava slabs. Their stomachs are spread flat, and their backs are turned to the solar radiation as they soak in the heat. Oh, speaking of the little crabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then 3 lizards. Look at this one. Marine iguanas and Sally Lightfoot crabs share the same shoreline habitat. As a large male island iguana in full breeding colors just returned from grazing seaweed in a tide pool, surveys his small seasonal mating territory along the wave splash boulders. A feeding crab deliberately plucks tiny bits of shedding skin from his back. He's giving him a makeover. His little eyes. And he's just having the time of his life. He looks so relaxed. Blue-footed boobies. I remember thinking their names were so funny when I was a kid. After a successful day of fishing in bountiful nearshore waters, blue-footed boobies return to the roost of the foreshore. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry I'm yawning. This just makes me relax so much reading these books. Oh, the sea lions. Let's see here. A dense sea lion colony. Yeah, I'd say there's not only dense as there's a lot of them, but dense as in chonky. A dense sea lion colony sprawls on the beach. Cows, pups, and adolescents rest together peacefully, while droning bark of the dominant bull can be heard patrolling just offshore, safeguarding his breeding rights against rivals. Oh, these guys are mad at each other over here. Look at them. Oh, and they're sleeping. Look how sweet. They're sleeping. Oh, here we have some underwater pictures with the starfish. And all of these schools of fish, look how many. I can't even count them. There's so many. Isn't that so cool? Oh, here they are underwater. Swimming with a serpentine motion of its body and tail, legs held tightly against its body to minimize drag, a diving marine iguana is a rare underwater sight, usually diving between 10 and 30 feet. Thousands of iguanas make the trip into the sea daily to feed. That is so cool. And then look at this guy chilling on the rock down here. Almost completely obscured by the rising steam. Oh wait, that's the other picture. This one is at home on the seabed. A marine iguana grazes seaweed, covering nearshore boulders. The lizard normally feeds for about 5 to 10 minutes between coming to the surface to breathe, rarely staying in the water for more than an hour each day. As their body temperature drops, they need to return to the shore before they become lethargic. This is the guy obscured in the steam. You see him in the steam. You can barely see him. Almost completely obscured by rising steam, a marine iguana clings to the jagged lava, only just beginning to cool as it flows into the sea near Cape Hammond. Pounding swells, iguanas returning from feeding may experience great difficulty regaining the shore safely. These are cormorants, I believe. I think that's how you pronounce it. These are a pair of nesting ones. Ah, finches. Finches, they're everywhere. There are so many species of them. Little bird. Ah, the tortoise, the tortoise. These guys are so cool. They're huge. They're ginormous. Look how big their feet are. Volcanoes. That's skipping too much. There we go. A vibrantly, brilliantly colored male vermilion flycatcher, usually found northeast highland forests stands against the greenery of its preferred habitat. The female is more subdued, pale yellow, the male contrasting sharply with otherwise dull tones of most Galapagos land birds. And then this giant mountain. And one little owl. What kind is it? A short-eared owl. That's what it is. That is what it is. Oh, look at all the birds. They're scattered everywhere. Let's see. Ooh, a hammerhead. Jump scare. There's another one back there. It's a fish. Scalloped hammerhead sharks gather in large schools. Particularly at the northern islands of Darwin and Wolf. Whether the purpose of these congregations is to mate or is to visit cleaning stations, where small reef fish rid where small reef fish rid the predators of skin parasites is not known. Increasingly, the hammerheads fall victim to illegal shark finning operations that threaten their future survival. Oh no. Save the sharks. Although I did recently watch Bob Giblin's shark video. Save the sharks, but be careful around them. Look at all these fish. Look at all these fish. It's a lion pup. Oh my goodness, I can't stop yawning. Visibly enjoying the effect, a playful adolescent sea lion pup near Seymour Island darts amid a dense school of black-striped sailmons. Oh, that twist and turn as they part around the youngster. Although the fish are too quick to be caught, the practice no doubt helps the young sea lion sharpen its hunting skills. Now look at these. Look at these albatross. Giant mounds. A pair of waved albatross engages in an elaborate courtship dance that is designed to cement their lifelong bond before the mates part company for 4 months of oceanic wandering. When they return to the breezy cliff tops, they will at once recognize each other and begin a new nesting cycle. That's so cool. You can see their little tongues. This is the island. This is the island with all the albatross. Oh, there's that silly bird that I can't say the name of. Frigate is what I think I settled on. Look at all the little feathers through here. Oh, they can fly while it's filled up. I thought they would just deflate it. This is what they look like normally. This is a spooky picture to turn to. He's looking right at the camera. He kind of looks like, oh, what's the name of that character? It's a Boombafoo, I think it's called, like that lemur. But I know this is a bird, because here's the side profile of them. They're masked boobies. Courtship among masked boobies can be a tense matter. Strong and high-strung, their initial advances often turn to aggression, with moments of violent bill fencing erupting until mates become better acquainted with each other and build up the mutual trust needed to raise their chick. Wow. They're fighting, but they're also in love. This is going to be the last page of this one. This is the bottlenose dolphin page. Again, not a huge fan of dolphins. I see the appeal and I can respect their beauty, but I can also agree that I don't want to be in the water with them. Preaching. Alright, we have one more book after this, and that one I'm going to go through pretty quickly. I saved the smallest one for last. Caves Exploring Hidden Realms. This is another Nat Geo book, but I figured that I should probably put it in this video because it normally sits on the stack on top of my bookshelf there. So why not include it in these books, because I'm already going through them. This one I'm gonna very quickly go through because, as you can see, the pages don't like to stay down on this one either. So this book is basically exploring different types of caves, different types of studies that were done inside caves. So this is a tardigrade. It's his little mouth. They eat algae and are found in caves for the most part, I believe. Although I think there might be different kinds. Anyway, this book basically goes over different types of caves. Like this is an ice cave. You can see the little guy there. One attribute some ice pits share with those formed in stone is a tendency for walls to bell out away from a caver's rope, creating what is called a free rappel. When mountain climbers descend a cliff, bouncing against the rock face helps to slow them down, controlling the speed. However, with the nearest wall far out of reach, requires expert handling of a descent bobbin. As Jeannot demonstrates here, I hope that's how you pronounce the name, on his deepest descent of the expedition. That is so cool, but terrifying. Oh, cenotes. I love cenotes. Cenotes, large and small, punctuate the Yucatan jungle, many of them connected by hidden tunnels. With a short flight, divers can target suspected caves that might take months to locate on foot. Here's ruins of a Mayan city. So I don't know if I'll see a page that explains it. Oh yeah, here we go. Land of cenotes. So basically cenotes, here's a picture of a diver kind of exploring the cave system of one. Cenotes are normally where there has been a sinkhole, and it is a pit of water at the bottom bottom of a hole. There is one in the United States that I know for sure of that's really popular, and I've been there. It's called Devil's Den in Florida. It is super cool and also terrifying to dive, but it's honestly worth the fear. It's so cool. So this is going specifically over the ones in the Yucatan forest. Here's a beach with some ruins, some foliage. Cave divers. Terrifying work. Terrifying work, but very interesting. There's the bubbles. And the roof of the cave. This is so neat. Here's a description of this cenote. Some cenotes, such as this jungle well, its exact name and location secret, closely guarded by cave divers, are undercut on all sides from previous collapses. In order to enter this window into the aquifer, divers must descend 75 feet on free-hanging ropes or cable ladders, then later haul their gear and themselves back to the surface. And overgrown cenote walls often hide snakes, poisonous plants, and bees and hornets. Terrifying. I can't imagine going up and down that with all of my scuba gear. Oh, so pretty, so pretty, so pretty. There's the diver. Ensconced in a bubble of light, divers approach the halocline, a fog-like layer separating fresh water and salt water. Oh, that's probably what this is down here. That has penetrated inland through the aquifer from the nearby Caribbean. Because it represents a mixing zone between different water chemistries, microbiologists like Hazel Barton regard it as a likely collection area for unknown bugs in quotation marks. That's interesting. Oh, here's some of their traveling. There's wheels. Yeah, here's more caving. Oh, it looks like his face is like obstructed by. This is normally what fresh and salt water look like when they mix. Let me see if there's an example. Yeah, it looks like they're mixing samples. So opening these and observing. It's so interesting. Oh, look at this. This is normally called like a ballroom, but let's see if it has a name. Oh, this is just the cave passage. Divers have an awful habit of not coming up with original names for sections of caves. So you'll see a lot of caves with areas called the ballroom, which is normally where it's narrow, and then the ballroom's where it opens up and then gets narrow again. That's cool. cave diver enjoys a short swim in sunlight where a collapsed tunnel system has opened a narrow fissure nearly 100 feet long. Multiple entrances are common, where upper-level passages seldom lie more than 30 feet below the surface. Let's see. Here's more caving, more cave diving, more cave diving. There seems to be... Here we go. Grand Canyon. This is funny, the description on this. It says, Tag caver Jim Hewitt uses mechanical ascenders to climb into a passage he discovered and named the most horrible thing ever. That's what he named it. With water and mud common companies to vertical caving, cavers depend on metal tooth gear that can cling to ropes so slick that even Tarzan would be hard-pressed to climb them barehanded. This book's got a sense of humor. Oh, would you look at that? It's so pretty, so pretty, so pretty. Branching, faceted selenite crystals up to 20 feet long. The Chandelier Ballroom. What did I tell you? Big open part of the cave. It's a ballroom. At least this one's a little fitting with the chandeliers. The chandeliers. Should the chamber be open to the public, geologists predict that changes in the air patterns and moisture caused by frequent traffic might send them crashing to the floor. Oh wow, look at that. How caves form, how caves form. All the rock structures. Oh, here they're doing some measuring, logging, caving. Oh, I kind of like the sound of that. I hope it's not too aggressive, kind of close to the camera like that. The Hidden Realm. This book's a little difficult to show without a tripod. Oh, look at this rock formation. Oh, the little bats. Cave dwelling bats. Look at the big ears on this one. Odd facial features of pocketed free-tailed bats. Oh, California leaf nose is this one. This is the pocketed free-tailed. They're so mean to him. He's got such a sweet little face. Look at his nose. Alright. We're coming towards the end. We'll do some flipping. Maybe if that was a bit harsh. Let's see here. From Greenland's ice grottos to the blue holes of the Yucatan Peninsula and the limestone chambers of America's prime caving country, a select group of bold pioneers are charting our planet's last frontier, a strange subterranean realm of unexplored depths, unexpected wonders, and exotic life forms. This unique, stunningly illustrated book, a companion volume to the McGilvery Freeman IMAX theater film, takes readers on a fascinating expedition into the unknown, guiding us to the heart of a glacier through the twisting passages of Earth's longest underwater caves and into the caverns that wind beneath Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee, where brave men and women risk their lives to open up a vast, mysterious underworld that we have barely begun to explore. An enthralling blend of hardcore adventure and cutting-edge science, Caves leads us into the breathtaking labyrinth that lies far beneath our feet and reveals the long-hidden marvels awaiting the adventurous spirits who dare to seek out Earth's deepest secrets. What a way to end the video. A small one, but a goodie. It's so good. Again, if you guys have any requests or want more detailed videos of specific books that you've seen in any of my videos, not just this one, just leave a request in the comments below and I will get to it the best I can. Also, if you guys have any other video ideas, feel free to also let me know. It might be a little difficult for me to fill out requests right now as school is starting up, but I am hoping by the summer I'll be free to make as many videos as you guys want. So I hope you guys get a good night's sleep